Okay, so welcome everybody. This week's Menopause Matters Live. I am going to be talking about the mineral magnesium. And the reason I want to talk about this mineral is because it's probably the most commonly supplemented mineral that women use during menopause. There's a lot of information about magnesium, and I get a lot of questions about it. So I wanted to answer some of those because, um, you know, the question is, should every menopausal woman be taking magnesium? And the answer is, as always, it depends. It's super important for lots of things, not just to do with menopause, of course, but I'm going to relate it mostly to menopausal symptoms. So first of all, heart health and avoiding heart disease. A lot of people don't understand the importance of magnesium with our heart health. It supports our heart function. It helps keep a healthy rhythm with our heart. So really important to keep the heart rhythm steady. It helps prevent blood clotting as well. It's a very important, super important mineral for heart health, and probably overlooked much more than it should be. Then there's stress. Now, we use a ton of magnesium when we're stressed, so we burn through it really quickly. So if you are in a stressful situation, perhaps, you've got stress at home, or you've got stress with your job, or you're just generally feeling anxious and stressed, then magnesium is going to be a really important mineral for you. And as I said, we use a ton of it, and we need even more when we are stressed to actually respond to the stress response in the first place. It's also a muscle relaxant, and it prevents cramps. A lot of people know that. They know that, if you get cramping, then magnesium is a good mineral to take. And it also supports us in our sleep. It helps to keep us in a deep sleep, stops us from waking multiple times in the night. So magnesium is really important for that as well. Sleep, stress, the nervous system. Also super important for bones, and of course there we are prone more so to brittle bones, and even osteoporosis, osteopenia. And magnesium alongside calcium is really important. It's required to actually secure the calcium into the bones along with other minerals too. So if you don't have enough magnesium, it doesn't matter whether you've got a ton of calcium in the diet, if you don't have that magnesium and the other minerals too, then the calcium won't be secured in the bones, and then we start seeing it rising outside of the bones and in other parts of the body, which can cause a lot of stiffness of joints. And kind of, if you think about the calcium in your water calcifying and causing hardness in your sink, etc. That's what it does in the body when it's not getting into the bones and teeth. It's a very bulky, very hard mineral. So magnesium helps to keep that in place where it should be in your bones and your teeth. And then we've got the blood sugar side of things. So magnesium is really important for blood sugar control, alongside, again, calcium. And as we go through menopause, I've talked about this many times, our ability to be able to control our blood sugar and to reduce insulin resistance diminishes. So we are much more prone to insulin resistance. We're much more prone to out of control blood sugar, and we need magnesium alongside calcium in the right balance to actually help with that, which is why I often see women who have got real struggles trying to control their blood sugar, even if they're eating a pretty balanced diet when it comes to carbohydrates. And that comes down to those two minerals. So that's why it's so important to know what's going on with those minerals too. It's also really good for migraines. So if you struggle with menopausal migraines or headaches, magnesium can help with that. Not on its own. I don't think that it's really one that you can kind of just take magnesium and all your migraines disappear, but it's definitely one to consider as part of a kind of holistic approach to migraines and headaches. So the question is, should everyone be taking it? And as I said at the beginning, yes and no. It all comes down to your unique mineral balance. And that's why I always want to check someone's minerals before I make any recommendations. I will often get just messages out of the blue from women asking me, can you please recommend what supplements I can take? And I'm not able to do that. I won't do it. I'm not actually allowed to really anyway, because if I have to be working with somebody to know what they're doing, whether they're on medications and whether things are safe or not. But also I won't do it because I want to know your minerals. I want to know what your balance is between all the minerals and vitamins, not just one. But having said that, a lot of people do need some magnesium, but I don't recommend chugging huge amounts, as I see some women doing, without actually knowing what their mineral balance is. So first of all, I want to check between the balance between calcium and magnesium. Those are two of your primary minerals. There's four primary minerals: sodium, potassium, calcium, and magnesium. They're your macro minerals. They're the ones that you have most abundantly in the body. And I want to know what the balance is between those two, because what I often see is calcium's too high above magnesium. And if that is the case, then you definitely need some magnesium, and you probably need quite a high dose. But you're not going to know that unless you've actually tested. And it may not be the case. And in which case, if you start taking tons of magnesium, you can cause other problems. If calcium is too low against magnesium, it may or may not be needed, or you may need a very small amount. And again, that depends on other factors too. And sometimes if a person is very low in all the main minerals, although they need it, giving magnesium can actually make them feel a lot worse. If you've ever taken magnesium and you felt terrible, then it may be that you need to correct your other minerals, specifically the sodium and potassium, before you start chugging a load of magnesium. Minerals don't work alone. They require what we call synergistic minerals and vitamins alongside the cofactor vitamins to work properly. Magnesium is no exception to this. It requires other minerals like, as I said, calcium, phosphorus, potassium, certain B vitamins, vitamin A and boron, to name just a few. And it's also antagonistic to some minerals. So, and what I mean by antagonistic is it can actually push other minerals out. So take, for example, sodium. So magnesium can push sodium low. So if you're taking a lot of magnesium, and as I see in with my clients, a lot of women are very low in sodium. They are going to be struggling with their adrenals. And then if they take a load of magnesium, they push the sodium lower, and that affects their adrenal function even more, and they get worse. And I often see this with slow metabolic types, which is probably close to 90% of my clients are slow metabolic types, and it can affect their adrenal function and make them even more tired. So you can see that it's not just a case of, shall I just go and buy a jar of magnesium from Holland and Barrett and that's all I need to do? It's never as simple as that, because the body's much more complex than that. And that's why, although most women do need some magnesium, I don't recommend taking high doses of it without first knowing what your minerals are, and working with somebody who really understands the relationships between all the minerals and the vitamins, and knows exactly what you need. But that said, a little bit of magnesium for most people will be helpful, and you'll know because you'll either feel better or you'll feel worse. So, as long as you don't take high doses, you should be okay to take some. In terms of which type to take, there's lots of different types. If you've looked into it, you probably know. The ones that I usually recommend is one called magnesium malate or glycinate. Not always the easiest to get hold of. A lot of people take magnesium citrate thinking that they are, doing themselves favors. Magnesium citrate is really good for constipation, but it's not well absorbed. So if you're taking that form of it, it can be really good if you're struggling with going to the toilet every day, but you're not going to get a ton of magnesium into the system from taking that form. There's other forms as well, but those are the two that I particularly like. Just don't take too much of it without knowing your mineral status and what's going on with all your other minerals, because it is really, truly very important. If you would like to find out more about testing your minerals, you can either comment minerals or drop me a DM, or you can email me. It's support@veevital.com. That's veevital.com, and I will get back to you with some info. If you've got any questions about what I've talked about today, please do ask. And if you found this information helpful, if it's new to you, if you've learned something different, please do like, and wherever you're watching this, if you can share it, then do share it, and comment. Let me know what you think. Any questions you've got. It's always helpful to get the feedback and know that I'm, sharing things that are important to you. All right. I'm going to leave it there today. It's quite a short one today. But yeah, if you've got questions, just ask away. All right. Take care. Bye for now.